everybody, and welcome back, my beautiful candy canes. Today we are going to be talking about married to medicine. Work with your girl. I'm trying to get this lighting right for you guys. Okay, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine, episode 3, Heavenly Intervention. I am ready to get into it. You guys all know I am not the biggest Heavenly fan, so I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Heavenly takedown. I'm absolutely ready for it. So as a way for people to come into the room, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share, because a Kiki is always better with community. Hey, Darren, what's up? Darren Hood says, hey, Candy. Hey, how are you? Baka says, is this Married to Med? Yes, this is Married to Med. Yes, this is Married to Med. We are about to get into it. We're about to find out. Heavily done messed around and found out, okay? She done messed around and found out. So let's get into it. Should we start with the intervention, or should we talk about what's going on with the other couples first? Let's do an overview of how I feel about the couples. Okay, so Anila and her husband, I can't even think of his name. I think it's time for them to go. I really do. I think it's time for them to go. I don't think they bring anything to the show. I think Anila is super annoying, and I think her husband is, honestly, ironically, I think he's more annoying than she is. Like, if he doesn't stop with those stupid faces and that like weird bug eye thing he does, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It needs to stop. So that's kind of where I stand with them. I just kind of want them gone, if that makes sense. Hey, Miss T, what's up, sweetheart? She says, hi. Hey, hey. Yes, Darren, Karan. Yes, Karan. Karan, that is it. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. And the reason why I'm saying I can't stand them so forcefully is because, did you guys catch the next episode preview that they did where they showed up at Toya's house with the U-Haul? I think it's probably like a Halloween or some type of costume party, and they showed up as like the U-Haul movers. That is dirty. You don't, like, that's beyond dirty. Like, Anila and your husband, you're doing the most. And then her husband Kieran was coming for Eugene, calling him an MFer and saying he was like the dullest and stuff. Like, don't make me. I can't wait to watch that episode and recap with you guys. Hey, the real lovely C. What's up, sweetheart? How are you? Hi, hi. That's right, you guys. Come in, drop your candy canes, and say hello. I'm just doing a quick recap of the couples. Anila and Karan, they need to kick rocks. Done with them. Let's see. Dr. Jackie and her husband, they're kind of just there this season, right? Like, I mean, it's only episode 3, but they're not really giving. But I guess they gave a lot in the last couple of seasons when he was in trouble for the cheating, and then now they're back together and all that stuff. So we'll give them a pass. And then Toya and Eugene, I actually thought this episode with Toya and Eugene that they were pretty solid. I think he's struggling. I think she's struggling. But I think them together as a couple was pretty solid, if that makes sense. Anyway, Dr. Contessa and Scott, I still think they're fronting. I don't think they're happy families back after everything that happened last season, after the cheating allegations, after the way he talked to her and everything. I think they're playing happy families. I think Scott might be fronting for whatever reason, and I think Contessa's just going along with it, going with the flow. You know what I mean? And that was kind of it. Oh, and then Simone and her husband writing the book, and then they brought in Almarosa. So what I think about that is, I'm happy that Simone and her husband are writing the book together, because I think sometimes when people write relationship books, particularly about their marriage and their experiences, when it's one-sided, that can be tough. So I like that they're doing both perspectives, the perspective of the wife and the husband, how they each viewed the trials and the tribulations and wanting to file for divorce and then getting back together and all of that. Miss T says, Contessa is still really hurt and needs to deal with it. Yeah, I agree. I think Contessa is still very, very hurt from everything that happened with Scott. But I disagree with Dr. Heather. I disagree with Dr. Heavenly saying that you're mad at your husband, you're not really mad at me. No, Dr. Heavenly, she was mad at you for what you said. I think both things can exist, right? I think that Dr. Contessa can still be hurt and mad at Scott for what Scott did. But I also think she can still be mad at Dr. Heavenly for what Dr. Heavenly said. You see what I'm saying? So I agree with you, Misty. I agree with you. Hey, lovely. See, Dr. Heavenly can see how she hurt her friends. Exactly. And she took zero. This is the thing with Dr. Heavenly. Let's get into the intervention because that was the meat of the episode, right? The way that Dr. Heavenly was laughing and the way she doubled down on hurting her friends. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I gave good advice was evil. And that shows you to her core that she's not just making jokes and trying to be funny, which is a lot of people's code word for I'm going to be hella disrespectful. I'm going to be really mean and rude. Oh, you guys, I'm like sweating to death. Sorry, I'm so sweaty. It's hot in here. Anyway, it's code for I'm going to be hella disrespectful. I'm going to be super rude, and I'm going to put it under the guise of telling it like it is. I'm going to put it under the guise of making a joke. No, Dr. Heavenly, you were dirty. You were so mean. You were so rude. You were disgusting. And the fact that she doubled down on it, to me, makes her evil. Dr. Heavenly, to me, is evil. Any way you slice it. She took zero accountability for everything she said about every single woman on that platform. And then did you guys catch it when Dr. Heavenly and Contessa were going at it? And when Contessa said, well, why don't you talk about your marriage? And then that's when Dr. Heavenly almost lost her mind. That right there shows you Dr. Heavenly isn't dumb. That right there shows you that she's not just saying this stuff to be funny or whatever. Because if you're just saying something to be funny or as a joke, then you should be able to take a joke. If you're throwing jabs about everybody else's marriage, everybody else's personality, lifestyle, finances, but the moment someone just says, well, I only talk about your marriage, your head almost explodes. That right there shows you exactly who that person is, exactly who that Dr. Heavenly woman is. She's evil. Point blank, period. She is evil. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying up in here. Hey, Derby Diva Entertainment. She says, hey, Candy the Candy Canes. Hey, sweetheart. Hello, Candy Canes. Yes. Darren Hood, cackling like a hyena. She was cackling like a nasty hyena. And she better keep her hands off for Dr. Contessa, trying to hug her and hold her. I was like, listen, I personally, I'm not built for any type of life. I'm not built for any of that stuff. So there is no way I'm putting my hands on anybody when they're that mad at me. And the fact that Dr. Heavenly she kept not like put her hands on her, but she kept like touching her and doing that. I was like, are you trying to catch a fade, Dr. Heavenly? Because literally all Contessa has to do is bop. And I'm not condoning violence. I don't think she should. And I'm really happy that Dr. Contessa did not go there. She was, for as angry as she was, understandably, I would be as angry as she was too. She definitely kept her composure, particularly when Dr. Heavenly literally had her hands on her. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're that mad and the person physically touches you, even if it's not threatening, but still that physicality, things could have popped off and escalated very quickly and very easily, right? So I'm actually really proud of Dr. Contessa. Can we get a petition to get Anila off of the show? When Anila was talking to Toya after everything went down, being like, this was an ambush. This was an ambush. She had no idea. I wanted to like reach into the TV and just like shut Anila's mouth. I wanted to shut it up. When did this happen? Well, I know when it happened last season, but like, why is Anila's head so far up Dr. Heavenly's butt? And to me, it's also crazy how much pleasure Anila gets putting down Toya, particularly with Dr. Heavenly. They get so much pleasure putting down Toya, talking bad about her family, her finances, this, that, and the third. You know, we can all say she has questionable things when it comes to finances, but truth be told, all of them have questionable things when it comes to something. Infidelity, finances, whatever it is. Clearly, Anila and her husband are living above their means. They try and front like they're not in the confessional, but you're not telling me you budgeted for a 1 million or a 1.5 million dollar house, and your house ended up being 2.5 or 2.75, whatever she was saying in her confessional, and you're not having financial situations going on. So that's why they need to be careful, because when you point fingers at other people in like that nasty way about something that they're going through instead of being a supportive friend, karma can act real quick. Karma knows everybody's address. The fact that Anila and her husband are up there talking so poorly about, and I'm not condoning Toya and Eugene, but I'm also giving them grace. You know what I mean? Anybody can find themselves in a financial bind or financial situation, not making the best decisions. Maybe everybody doesn't have financial literacy. Maybe they thought they could do the dream house and it turned out they couldn't. Like, you never really know what's happening in somebody else's house. And the fact that they're so mean spirited about it, that's what I don't understand. That's what gets me. Even Anila's nanny sped out of there. So what's really good, Anila? What's really good in your house? And it's funny because wasn't Dr. Heavenly the number one person who was clowning Anila when she got on the show, talking about, do bloggers even make money? But the funny part is, now Heavenly's a YouTuber. Me and Dr. Heavenly have the same exact platform. We up here on YouTube, chit-chatting away on the tube. But Dr. Heavenly had so much smoke for Anila being a blogger, talking about, is that a career? Well, clearly, I bet you Dr. Heavenly's probably making more money on YouTube than she is in that wig store she got. So who knows? That's what you guys are saying up in here. Derby Diva says that intervention was long overdue, way overdue. I had stopped watching it. I'm watching it for you guys. But now I'm into it. Now I'm watching it for us. Because of Dr. Heavenly. She's just so nasty and so mean-spirited. It was just hard to watch her. It was just hard. Miss T says, Heavenly knows. Mariah has the receipt. That's the thing. And that's another thing. Unless you're willing to be honest and transparent about what's going on in your finances, about what's going on in your marriage, don't go at people like that in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're all on the reality show. Like, I'm just up here chit-chatting about the reality show. I'm not actually like a member of the show. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, there's like, that's the difference. So for her to be on her channel and being so mean-spirited, like, that's the problem. It's because it's not like a kiki. It's not funny. It's that she's so mean-spirited and two-faced. It's like you sit in Contessa's face, you sit in Quad's face, you sit in Dr. Jackie's face, not really Simone's and not really Toya's face. You sit in Anila's face, cackling like a hyena, acting like you're their friend, kikiing with them. And then you flip on for likes and views, talking about them, their husbands, their family, their finances, their personalities, like a damn dog. She honestly, Dr. Heavenly is one of the meanest content creators, YouTubers out there. She really is. It's crazy. Derby Diva says she was damn near wrestling Contessa, right? I was like, Dr. Heavenly, you need to sit yourself down. You don't want to catch this fade from Dr. Contessa. You don't want to catch this fade from Dr. Contessa? Absolutely not. Hey, Miss T, Heavenly knew she was wrong. Exactly, but I do believe she meant it. Yes. She said it. She doubled down. She was like, yeah, I said it, and it was funny, and I gave great advice, and blah, blah, blah. But the moment Contessa said, well, why don't you talk about your marriage, she almost flipped out. So you want to sit up there and talk about everybody else, but the moment she says talk about yourself and your marriage, you want to flip out? Because again, allegedly, just my opinion, I believe Mariah, and I do think Dr. Damien, Daddy, was cheating. And I think Mariah did have the receipts. And I think Heavenly knows that happened. And she doesn't want to expose. She doesn't want it exposed. And she's so petty and she's so sensitive and she's so still wounded that she can't even look at her own self or take accountability for how she's treating other people and how she's making other people feel. And the reason why I think she's evil rather than just wounded and projecting, because those are two different things. Sometimes people are just wounded and they project, And sometimes they lash out. Sometimes they want to point the finger at everybody else because they don't look at themselves. The reason why I say she's evil is because she takes pleasure in causing other people pain. That's why I say she's evil. Because we've all, if we're all being honest, at some point in our lives, we're human beings, probably have lashed out, probably have gossiped, or probably has point the finger, or probably has, not been in a good place ourselves. And instead of working on ourselves and our own situation, sort of deflected by somebody else's. I've done it. I'm a human being. We all have done it. The difference is what intention, like what's the core intention? And Dr. Heavenly gets pleasure. Pleasure is sadistic by causing other people pain because she's in so much pain herself. So to me, I think she's like, I'm in so much pain. I want everybody else to feel how unworthy, unlovable, ugly, all of that I feel. That's why she always goes after Toya, because she's jealous of Toya's looks. That's why she goes after Quad, because she's jealous of Quad's confidence. That's why she went after Mariah, because she was jealous of Mariah's whole being. Let's keep it funky. She was jealous of Mariah's whole being. That's why Dr. Heavenly goes after certain people. She goes after Contessa because she doesn't respect Dr. Contessa. She's cool with Anila because she's not threatened by Anila. Because she thinks the fact that she's a dentist and has the MD degree, she thinks that makes her better than Anila. But that's not true. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much education you have. I don't care how many husbands you have or cars you have. Nobody is better than anybody else. I don't care. None of it. None of it. None of it. None of it. But Heavenly is so internally corrupt and bankrupt that she gets her value out of those things. So the reason why she doesn't mess with Toya is because Toya is beautiful. She doesn't mess with Quad. Well, she fakes with Quad, but we all know how she really feels because she got up on her YouTube channel saying Quad sleeps with married men. How are you kikiing in somebody's face, drinking wine, hanging out, doing whatever, having your girls' night, all up in somebody's face, and then you turn around and get on your channel and say she sleeps with married men? But yet you want to say you're a good friend and you're not a bad person? Miss me with that, Quad. Miss me with that. Let's see what you guys are saying, because I was just off on a tangent. Hey, Derby Diva, she goes, yes, bye, Anila. Anila needs to go, and I'm gonna be hyped after the next one, because y'all saw the preview when her and her weird, wacky, non-funny, corny husband. He is so corny because how do you go after Eugene? You know what I mean? Like, if Anila and Toya want to beef, let them beef in the corner. But why is Anila's husband coming after Eugene, calling him an MFer and said he was the dullest MFer on the show? How are you coming after Eugene? Anila and her husband need to go. Dr. Heavenly needs a soul intervention because she's evil. Ms. T says Anila was making jokes with Heavenly and laughing. Exactly. Anila was right up there with Heavenly. Right up there with her. And then Heavenly was calling her stupid and calling her dumb and all this, that, and the third. And that just shows you how low Anila's self-esteem is too. Because I'm not going to be kikiing. I'm not going to be having somebody's back and supporting someone who is calling me stupid and dumb and all X, Y, Z in the third. No, thank you. You speak against me once and I'm out. One time. If I like you, maybe I'll give you a second shot. Fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Miss T, Anila tried to make that nanny feel guilty about leaving the kids. You know what? I wish I was a fly on the wall in that house. All right. Let's just get funky with it, you guys. I'm going to be really respectful because I'm never going to talk about nobody's kids. Kids and parents and mamas are off limits. However, let me speak in hypotheticals. because again, I'm not trying to talk about nobody kids. Hypothetically speaking, the way Anila's nanny's exit was, her demeanor, the way she ran out of that house, the way she had zero affection towards those children and towards Anila and her husband, to me, hypothetically, because again, I'm not speaking against anybody's children, it would be, what are those kids like to act? Like, what are those kids like to actually nanny? You know, like if there was a young boy who seemed a little out of control, who seemed a little entitled, who seemed very arrogant, who seemed very temper tantrum, who, if the person who essentially was raising you or co-raising you for your entire life said that you were leaving and the only thing you said was, I'm gonna miss the pinto beans. If I was the nanny, I would have got the hell out of there too. That right there tells you pretty much everything you really need to know about what was going on in that household. That nanny had no allegiance to Anila or her weird ass husband. And she didn't really seem that attached to the children. She seemed like she was ready to go. She was like, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. And she was ready to go. So I'm really would be interested. And again, I'm not speaking against anybody's child ever, especially children. But I'm really interested. I would be interested to see what really happens in that household. It's like if I was a nanny in somebody's house, and I was nannying their children for the last 5 years, and I said, "Oh, little one, I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back." And the little one said, "I'm gonna miss your cauliflower, your collard greens." Could you imagine? If I was like, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back, to a child I had nannied for 5 years, and the only thing they had to say was, I'm going to miss your collard greens. Could you imagine? To be honest, the only person who seemed to have any true empathy was the daughter. She actually seemed to have true empathy and emotion and thinking about other people other than herself. Like, I really would love to see what was going on in that household. Hey, Miss T, Anila tried to make it the nanny feel guilty. That's right. Yep. Hey, Donna D, I know it seems petty, but the other cast members should create a podcast dedicated to dragging Dr. Heavenly. They should tag team her. That doesn't sound petty. That sounds like an amazing idea. And if you guys ever do it, cast members, bring me on as a special guest. I will co-host. I'll be there with you because Dr. Heavenly is evil. Evil Knievel. That's a great idea. They really should. They really should. I was totally here for the intervention. It was way overdue. Hey, Vaca. Vaca says, hey, sweetheart. How are you? Donna D says, Dr. Contessa had the right to push Dr. Heavenly down. She did. No, she 100% did. She would have been if she would have popped her out, she would have been justified. She would have been 100% justified. Dr. Heavenly down when she wrapped her arms around her. Exactly. Dr. Contessa didn't give Dr. Heavenly permission to put her hands on her. We know Dr. Contessa can take her. Dr. Contessa can take all of us. She doesn't even have to try. She just go poof, and we're all done. Vaca says, oh yes, super jealous, right? Totally. Vaca says, did they take down hellishly yet? They did. They took her down. They took her all the way down. Because this is the thing. She talked so much crap about so many people for so long. It was way overdue. Way overdue. And I'm actually really interested to see when Contessa's like, oh, she was reckless. And she's like, so now I can be reckless. I want to know what Dr. Contessa knows. Hey, Derby Diva Empowerment. She goes, Daddy is allegedly seeing a beautiful white blonde doctor at his place of appointment and is waiting on his daughter to leave for college. Then he's out. Derby Diva, yes. I have been saying this since season 1. Since season 1. To me, Dr. Daddy Damon looks like a hostage. He just looks like, and everyone's just like, blink twice if you need us to get you. He looks like, you know what, let's just keep it all the way funky. It looks like pretty much exactly what they said. Dr. Heavenly got her claws under Dr. Daddy Damon. She conveniently got knocked up with their I think they have two kids, right? The eldest boy and then Alora. I don't think they have three. I think they have two. Anyway, two or three. Their eldest son, she got knocked up. She knew that if she was knocked up, he would step up to the plate. They get married, and that's how she bagged him. I believe that. Again, everything's alleged, kiki, haha. But I agree 100% that he is just waiting for the kids to get grown and gone. And I think day one, Alora is in college, he's out. And if he is dating a beautiful blonde in his office, I hope she's kind, I hope she's loving, and I hope he's happy, whether she's white, black, purple, pink, whatever, who cares? As long as she's kind to Dr. Damon, because Dr. Damon to me seems like a solid human being. He's a good husband, he's a good father, he's a good person. And I don't like to say that women trap men, but sometimes when the shoe fits, the shoe fits. Hey, Donna D, all this stuff you're saying about their Heavenly can be used in the podcast or cast members can create to drag her. Exactly. That's why, listen up, you guys. If they do the podcast, tell them to call me. I will come be a co-host. I will. Hey, Derby Diva. Girl husband is about to get his AA whooped. Her husband is about to get his AA whooped, 100%. Hey, Vaca. Eugene is the only nice person who is likable on the show. You know what? That's kind of true. That's kind of true. I love Eugene. And the fact that Kieran, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I'm sorry, Anila's husband was coming at Eugene. I was like, you really have to be kidding me right now. Who comes after Eugene? I can't. You know who's likable this season? Who I used to, I've always liked her, but I like her more is Quad. Quad has grown on me this season, only the last 3 episodes. Quad has really grown on me. I think with the whole Mason thing, it's really humbled her. I think she's being more real. So I like Quad this season. I always think she's a good Kiki, but I like her more this season. Dr. Heavenly's evil. Toya has a lot of work to do on herself. Dr. Contessa has a lot of work to do on herself. I think Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, at this point, I think they're just coasting. I think they got to a place with their husbands where they probably have an agreement where it's like, we've come this far. Let's just ride the damn thing out. Let's do the books. Let's do the products. Let's do the show. Let's do this, that, and the third. Let's keep the checks coming. And let's just ride this out. That's what I really think is going on with both Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie's marriages. I think they're just like, we've come this far, let's keep milking it. Because we're worth more as a couple than we are divorced. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they're worth more as a couple than they are divorced. So do I think that they're 100% faithful and everything is happy families? No, probably not. Do I think Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie care at this point? No. I think they probably have an agreement. Let's just ride this out. Let's do this book together. Let's make this money. Let's stay on the show for as many seasons as we can. Let's be the couple that, triumphed over everything. I think at this point, and they've all been together for like decades. At this point, they're probably just like, let's just ride this out. You do you. Don't be sloppy with it. And let's ride it out. Let's make the money. Let's get the checks. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Hey, Derby Diva, Dr. Heavenly and Kenya Moore both have that same evil, wicked, demonic spirit. Yeah. You know what it is for me? And Kenya really played Cynthia hard on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Like, played the absolute hell out of her. For me, the evilness is the pleasure they take in hurting somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I give everybody grace because we've all hurt people. We've all been hurt. We all have done stuff and whatever. We're human beings. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We've all done stuff. But when people get legitimate pleasure out of hurting somebody else, that's a different type of crazy. That's a different type of evil. That type doesn't change. And that type never takes accountability. That's a real tick. Hey, Donna D, I do believe that Heavenly has told the castmates that she is doing all this for the show, though. She's going too far, but I bet she talked to them about it. This is the thing. Even if that was true, maybe she talked to some of the castmates. Given Dr. Contessa's reaction, I don't think she's that good of an actress. I don't think she told Dr. Contessa this. Because the hurt and the betrayal is palpable in Dr. Contessa's face. I don't think she's that good of an actress where Heavenly was like, I'm just doing it for the show, and she knew she was doing all of this stuff, and now she's acting for the show. I think that's more of a narrative that Dr. Heavenly would put out to save face. What I think is, I think Dr. Heavenly doesn't give a damn about anybody else but herself. I think she takes pleasure in being mean and other people suffering, and I think she really didn't care. And then when she was confronted, she told us that. She's like, I don't care. I said what I said. She didn't give a damn. I think she may be now trying to rewrite history because of how she's looking. But the way Dr. Contessa reacted and the way the other women reacted when they were seeing some of the clips of what Dr. Heavenly said, because even like Anila, how wackadoodle she is, even she was like, oh, I didn't see all of this. I think their reactions were genuine in the intervention. That I don't think Quad knew that Dr. Heavenly got up on YouTube and was like, Quad sleeps with married men. And the show doesn't need Dr. Heavenly on YouTube. Look at how many different YouTubers and content creators and social media people and bloggers talk about the show. The show does not need Dr. Heavenly on YouTube to carry the show. Dr. Heavenly is just fronting. She wants to be more famous. She wants more of her 15 minutes. She probably likes getting money from YouTube, an extra source of income for her. Let's be real. With everything going on in the world, we all could use a little bit more money. She was shading Anila, talking about, do bloggers actually make money? And now look at her on YouTube all day long, trying to make some Google ads and some super chats, right? So I think Dr. Heavenly is now probably trying to rewrite the narrative because of because she got caught. Miss T says, what about the pinto beans? I was like, that is your response, child? Like literally the woman who is essentially, again, I'm never going to talk about anybody's mothering skills, but the nanny is essentially raising you. I'll say co-raising because I want to be respectful to anybody's mothering choices. Who's co-raising you, and you say, what about the pinto beans? Could you imagine? What about the collard greens? Darren Hood, bye, Anila. Time is up. Her time is up. She's not interesting. She's literally just annoying. Just annoying. Hey, Sharon F. She says, hey, Candy and the Candy Canes. What is up? Hey, Derby Diva Empowerment. She goes, that bad A little boy, and Anila ran that nanny away. 100%. You know what I think it was too? I think Anila probably was a handful before the show. And then I bet you after the show, it probably got even more out of pocket. And the nanny probably called her children and were like, I need to come home. I need to come home. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Derby Diva. She said she never I know. She was like, I'm never coming back. Like to a child's face. To a child's face. Like, what the hell? Wouldn't you at least be like, we can FaceTime. Anytime you miss me, you can FaceTime me. She was like, I'm leaving. And she was deadpan. And I'm never coming back. Hey, Donna D. The little boy was rather obstinate when the nanny, Miss Gomez, was trying to get him to bed. Maybe that was the last straw. Listen. To be a fly on the wall. Because that nanny looked completely fed up. Hey, Miss T, Heavenly didn't care. She Heavily gave not a damn, like nothing. That's evil. That's evil. And I'll speak for myself. Like, I get up here and I talk totally different from Dr. Heavenly. I'm just a normal person watching reality TV. I'm not on the cast. I'm not a reality star. I'm just a writer who does YouTube reviews. Totally different game. But if I ever said anything about someone and they came to me with the type of hurt that Contessa came to her with, or any of the other girls, I would be gutted. And I would be like, I am so sorry. In the moment, I thought I was being funny. I thought I was doing this. I apologize. I am so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. What can I do to make you feel better? And I'm talking about a stranger. These are your castmates, coworkers, and alleged friends. And that's how you respond when you drag their whole family through the mud. Ridiculous. Donna D, yeah, the daughter's tears almost made me tear up. The same. It was the daughter for me. Derby Diva says 2 boys and a girl. Okay, so Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Amy have 2 boys and a girl. Okay, 2 boys and a girl. But yeah, I mean, I never want to say a woman traps a man, but I mean, she pretty much said it herself. She got pregnant to keep him, to trap him. And you know what? Free Dr. Damon. Hashtag free Dr. Damon daddy. Free Dr. Damon daddy. Hey, Donna D, I hope Dr. Damon, if he is indeed cheating, which I don't condone, it is with a beautiful black woman. Aw, yes. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't condone cheating in general, but in particular, with this situation, do the damn thing, Dr. Damon. Do the damn thing. Get your kicks, get your licks, do flip-flops all over the place. Do the damn thing. In general, from a morality standpoint, I don't condone cheating at all. If you're in an unhappy relationship, get out of it and then start dating. But in this particular situation, to take it to you guys know what I'm trying to say, to put it in a compartment. For this particular situation, do the damn thing. Get your kicks, get your licks. Do it, Dr. Damon. Baka says, Quad is still alive? I thought they got rid of her. Yeah, so she was supposed to be a friend of last season, but this season she's back full-fledged cast member, everything. They had a whole Life with Quad segment, the whole situation. She's back with a vengeance. She's basically the Marlo. She's the Marlo of the show, being a Monty. And I say that with love and respect because unfortunately her brother passed away, and so she really stepped up to the plate to take care of her nephew. So when I say the Marlo, I say that with all respect, because anybody raising somebody else's child, blood related or not, that's a big up. Hey, Donna D, Eugene is like Ms. Jenkins and Live in Color. Don't nobody talk about Dr. Eugene. Exactly. Hey, Baka. Off the show, I mean, LOL. Without Mariah, I don't think Quad is interesting. Yeah. But you know what the funny part is? The reason why I think I'm liking Quad more this season, not because I agree with you. Without Mariah, she isn't interesting. But I think because Mariah isn't there and she's not backstabbing, Mariah, I like her better, if that makes sense. If that makes sense at all. The fact that she's like not backstabbing Mariah, I like her better. But Dr. Heavley could just go all day long. Hey, Donna D. She was, I can't stand to see Curtis on my screen. I can't get over him cheating on Dr. Jackie. He's so arrogant about it. Yeah. What really got me with Curtis was how callous he was about the children thing with Dr. Jackie. Because I think that is what really put the wedge in their marriage, if that makes sense. I think that's really where the disconnect was. I think she's like, I've been through cancer twice. I want children. I thought that, you would even be open to adopting. And the fact that he was like, nope. So I'm going to go cheat instead of having a child with you, Hey, Darren, does Ad Fox Olives? Nah, her role has been reduced last season, but now she's back full time. Yup, 100%. Hey, Vaka, I don't get why Kenya is so buddy-buddy with Vile Kyle. Kenya was so disgusting on that show. She had her face all up in Luann's butt, all up in Kyle's butt, all up in Teresa's butt. And then she strategically went after Ramona systematically because she knew that people liked Ramona the least. And then she threw Cynthia under the bus because, to me, you know what? Let's just get funky with it. Let me just tell you all the way what I think with that. So to me, when it comes to someone like a Kenya, to me, she's the type of girl who, let me just be honest, I think Kenya is the type of Black girl that when she is in a group of white people, she wants to be the one chosen Black girl that they mess with. So I think the fact that she got to the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip, and she was around a bunch of white people, Kenya wanted to be the cool Black girl that all the white girls liked. It's similar to what happened with Ebony, and I forgot her name on Real Housewives of New York. It was Ebony, and then it was Ramona's sort of friend, who was another Black girl that came, and she was putting Ebony down in front of the other Black girls. It's like that it's like she wanted to be she's a pick me. She's a pick me person. Like, I want to be the token Black girl that all the white girls like. And so in order for me to be the token Black girl that all the white girls like, let me put down Cynthia. Let me distance myself from Cynthia. Let me, make sure that they like me the most. Kenya was being the ultimate pick me. And there are a lot of people who are like that. When they get into mixed of a different race, they want to be the chosen minority, if that makes sense. And that's what I think happened with Kenya. Hey, Derby. She says Dr. Jackie seems what's UNP? What's UNP? Sorry, I checked my text real quick. Okay, let's see. All right, you guys. Sorry, that was not manager. So Donna D said, "I see Cynthia Bailey everywhere. I never thought she would have been downgraded on Roa. I've seen her be in 2 movies, Celebrity Big Brother, and a new series about celebrity beef. She has blossomed." That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Sometimes people will do something dirty to you, thinking that that they're going to take you down, and God will use it to bring you up. What's that? Not to get all preachy or anything like that, but what's that scripture where it's like God will make your enemies your footstool? There are a lot of times people think, I'm going to try and play you, I'm going to get you fired, I'm going to clown you, and it actually opens a door for something greater to happen for you. I actually had that happen to me today. I had a very, very stressful morning, you guys, a very stressful morning. And the whole time what was going down, I just kept saying, you know what, God, show me the way through this. God, show me how, what is on the other side. God, show me how to turn this around in my favor. And he did. God will use someone who is being unkind and disrespectful as a gateway to get you on the other side of a better place. So, please. Hey, Derby Diva. She goes, sorry, Dr. Jackie seemed unbothered when Heavenly spoke on her husband cheating with many women. Yes, Jackie is probably emotionally checked out of that marriage. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think now with Dr. Jackie and Curtis, and I even think Dr. Simone and her husband, it's more of an arrangement now. Do you know what I mean? It's more of a, we've been together for so long, and we are worth more as a couple than we are separated. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. I don't think Jackie doesn't care what Curtis is doing. I think it's just, don't be sloppy. Don't be like a Michael Darby and get everything on camera. That's what I think. Hey, Derby Diva, bravo punish Quad for always showing up late and no shows. Good, she should have got punished. You can't be taking up. At the end of the day, it's a job. At the end of the day, it is a job. You're getting paid to do this. And when you're late and not showing up, that's just not your money. It's Bravo's money. It's production's money. It's the other co-stars' money and time. That's a big deal. So she Oh, you know what? You're so right. Because did you notice on the last episode when was it Dr. Simone was saying how Quad used to be so late? They did a whole montage but how this time she showed up on time and she was like, hell has frozen over. Boom. Hey, Donna D. Quad is was what a Monty should be. Marlo, take notes. Oh, see, I'm not going there with that because I think that particularly when they're not your own children, and particularly when they may have their own issues and trauma and things, it can be very, very difficult for anyone to step into a mother role with children who are not your own and with children who may be going through, emotional, mental, and all that stuff. And by no means am I bashing her nephews. I would never disrespect a child. But they were saying that there was like slitting throats of like teddy bears and punching holes in walls. And if the mother has had, substance abuse or like, I'll just put it this way. I have nothing but respect for anyone who tries to raise other people's children. That's just a lie. Darren Hood says, at Donna D, exactly. Nah, y'all leave Marlo alone. Leave Marlo alone. Hey, Baka, Kenny is looking like she wants to be cool with the white girls. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Kenya was a pick-me. She was like, oh, this is a cast of all white women. I'm going to be the chosen one. Bershawn. Yes, Darren. Bershawn. Remember? Derby Diva says, yeah, Kenya would be in the big house eating the cherry pie, stepping, fetching, and snitching. 100%. Wasn't she on, you know what? Check me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right on this, but check me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Kenya on Big Brother? And who was she beefing with? Wasn't it another black woman, Vivica Fox? When she was on, not Big Brother, what was the one with, You're Fired? Celebrity Apprentice, right? Wasn't she on that? And wasn't she beefing with Vivica Fox? She like stole her phone and did the most and all of this stuff. It's like, again, Kenya, and not to make everything about race, because obviously I don't think everything's about race at all. But again, Kenya, you're in company with a bunch of white people, and the person you choose to go to bat with is the other black woman. I'm not saying you have to be allies just because you both are black, because not all, you know what I mean? I'm not just saying that. Like, you always have to use discernment, but you don't have to go against her either. You don't have to rock with someone just because you're the same skin tone, but you certainly don't have to go against them because you're the same skin tone and you want to look like, the chosen black person. Essentially what it is. And I've had that happen in my own personal experience where I would go to, I don't do it so much anymore after what happened with the P word and the C cousin. I don't want to say it because algorithm. A lot of the events and stuff slowed down, but I used to do a lot of social media influence. So we would get invited to all of these events and stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you. At the events, it would be 99% white. And then it would be maybe like me and a couple other ethnicities. And me, when I would go, I would seek out the other person of color. And I'd be like, hey, girl, what's up? Again, you don't have to be buddies with someone just because you're both black or you're both minorities, but you want to feel like comfortable. And I had a girl who I thought we were doing that with. And then we had this big luncheon at this like fancy place. And she made the rudest comment about me and my body at the table, thinking that she was going to get a laugh from all the white girls. But the gag is all of those girls were my friends. And so instead of laughing at me, they looked at her like, excuse me? Like, why would you say that? That was really disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't put the other minority down. You don't have to mess with them, but you don't have to put them down trying to be the token. And that's what I see. And that's what I see in Kenya. And I felt bad for Cynthia because Cynthia really thought she had a friend the same way Cynthia does. Mm-mm. Miss T, what is Quad's job? You know what, Miss T? I was thinking the same damn thing because I'll tell you why. I was like, how did she get this house? Because her house is bad. Her house is bad. And I was like, how did she get this house? Do we think it's divorce settlement money? Because Quad was on Sister Circle, but wasn't Sister Circle like a digital show or like an off? I don't know. And it's been canceled for years now, right? And I don't think the Bravo check is that big. So I don't know. I don't know what Quad does. But if anybody finds out what Quad does, let me know because I might switch careers because her house is bad. Hey, Vaka, I can't wait for Rohop. Me too. I hope you're reviewing it. I am. I wonder if it will be a Candace takedown season. I bet it will be. I think everyone's tired of Candace. Everybody. Even though Monique showed out on her DC show, everybody is still tired of Candace because each of them individually still has their own issues. Miss T says Marlo isn't a good example. Aw, you guys. Hey, Derby Diva. She goes, switching, proud of Marlo, trying, and pray it works out for all involved. Yes. Me too. I really hope it works out for Marlo. This is the thing. Nobody's perfect. And I do think she's trying. And to be honest, she's probably doing more than most would. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of Marlo. So let's see. Oh, hey, Donna D. She goes, Dr. Jackie thinks it's better to keep him. Yup, she'll never have to pay Eric Curtis alimony. She's probably sticking with him to save her bank more so than her marriage. 1,000%. You know the saying, it's cheaper to keep her? Well, it's cheaper to keep him. Because what is Curtis doing? I'll wait. So yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Celebrity Apprentice is Darren. Yup, exactly. Hey, Miss T. Yes, Kenya did. Exactly, she did. And it's just like, girl, you don't have to be against the other black person to be cool. You can still be cool and accepted by everybody. You don't have to take down every other pretty black girl. Hey, Young, Vivica and Kenya was like oil and water. It wasn't gonna work. Yeah, but I think Kenya is also Snake and chameleon, and I think, and she's very, very intelligent and very, very strategic, and I think Kenya knew exactly what she was doing in all of these situations. 100%. Hey, Young Rich, does Kenya win against the white people too? Well, let me go watch Celebrity Apprentice, but she didn't go against the white people on Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip other than Ramona, but that was, again, strategic. That was strategic, her going after Ramona, because that put Ramona in the kooky character, everybody go against Ramona position. That took the heat off of Kenya. And also with Kenya constantly going after Ramona, that gave Kenya an ongoing storyline. I know she had the one about going through the divorce, blah, 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 but Kenya was very, very strategic. She went after Ramona for a reason. Darren Hood said, yeah, she was beefing with Vivica, right? Hey, Derby Diva. She goes, Apprentice. Yep, she stole Vivica's phone. Exactly. Kenya is the lowest of the low. I don't care how nice she pretends to be. You're right, Derby Diva. It's all a front. It's all a front. You can see in Kenya's face, eyes are the windows to the soul. You can see in Kenya's face the wheels turning. You can see the wheels turning in her face. You can see her strategy. You can see all of it. You can see all of it in Kenya. Everything she does is premeditated. 100%. She purposely threw Cynthia under the bus. That was obvious. You've been BFS with Cynthia for years. You go on this trip and now you're talking about her and against her to other people. Why? For what? Young Rich, I think production stole Vivica's phone and blamed it on Kenya. Young Rich, no, you know Kenya stole that phone. Stop it. You know that's something Kenya would do. Hey, Donna D. I think production should have allowed Marlo to bar Kenya from the activities on the last episode of Roa. They allowed Kenya to put Portia out of her party. Bravo definitely shows favoritism. Bravo has always shown favoritism. Always. And it can change. One season they could have one favorite, and the next they have another favorite, and whatever. But Bravo has always shown favoritism. I'm not even watching this season of Roa because why? Hey, Vodka. I was just watching an interview with Kenya apologizing to Vivica. Good. And she said because she was on reality TV, she saw that production was producing and that she was trying to warn Vivica with no luck. Okay, now I'm calling BS. I was on board with Kenya apologizing, but her saying she's trying to warn Vivica, Kenya boo boo. Kenya boo boo. You don't need to warn Ms. Vivica A. Fox about a damn thing. Vivica has been in the game, and I mean actually in the game. I'm not trying to shade Kenya too much, but comparing Vivica Fox and Kenya's about with their career, with their standing, with their status, apples to oranges. Vivica Fox has actually been in the game for a very long time. I know Kenya has had her stuff here and there. I'm not knocking what she's done, but I think Kenya saying that she was trying to warn Vivica, that's a laugh and that's a joke. Hey, Sadie. So agree with you, Candy, regarding Kenya's behavior on Real Housewives of Girls Trip. 100%. 100%. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I've been the Cynthia in those situations. Well, actually, I'm not playing myself. I have not been the Cynthia because I don't take the bait. Unfortunately, I have friends that don't allow people to speak ill of me. So I've had Kenyas, but I've never been a Cynthia. Hey, Young Rich, Cynthia was jealous. I don't feel like Kenya was being a pick-me. Cynthia expected Kenya not to get along with everyone like on every other show, and it flipped. You know what I think it is? Cynthia has a very codependent personality. She pretty much messes herself with the dominant personality. It happened with Nene. It happened with Peter. It happened with Kenya. So, yes, Cynthia, and it happened with Carson on Celebrity Big Brother. We saw that big blow up. So Cynthia is a very codependent personality. She is the beta and she will always defend the person that is the alpha in the situation. Yes, 100%. And yes, I do think that she was feeling jealous of the relationships. But do I think that Kenya is blameless? Absolutely not. I think Kenya is very strategic. I think Kenya knows exactly Cynthia's personality type. I think Kenya knows exactly who Cynthia is, and she played on those weaknesses to clown Cynthia. And then to go and talk about her to the other women because she knew Cynthia would be jealous of friendship. She knew how Cynthia would react. So I don't think that Kenya is blameless. I think Kenya is really smart. She knows Cynthia is a codependent personality, and she used that against her to make Cynthia look like a fool. She pushed every one of Cynthia's buttons because she knew how to. If Cynthia really was a friend, she would have included Cynthia in the events and the Kikis and all of that, and they all could have been a friend group. But she divided it. She made it Kenya versus Cynthia. And also, Cynthia was saying how Cynthia and Kenya, before going on the trip, were having you know how they all talk and they all plan. We're having the plans of how it was going to be us versus them and all that stuff. So in Cynthia's mind, she was gassed up to already think it was us versus them because of the conversation she was having with Kenya. And then Kenya got there and flipped the script. Do I think it should have been us versus them? Absolutely not. But do I think Kenya could have included Cynthia and it could have been a group Kiki? 100%. Do I think Kenya knew Cynthia's personality and knew what buttons to push to make her look like a goddamn fool? 100%. Hey, Derby Diva. Quad is in pharmaceutical sales, cookbook, and puppy clothes. I need to get me in some pharmaceutical sales, cookbook, and some puppy clothes because that house is bad. Hey, Vodka. I know I'm tired of Candace. Me too. Young Rich, we love Candace. Let me put it this way. I hate no one. I'll just say that. I hate no one. Hey, Young Rich, Marlo is trash and she don't need to come back next season. Oh, no. I've always liked Marlo. Hey, Vodka. Candace is another one to me that panders to Giselle group, and she doesn't even have anything in common, and G doesn't like her. 1,000%. She was pandering to Giselle, and that's why she got mollywopped by Monique because their friendship fell out because she was all up in Giselle's face and up her butt. 100%. Darren, a sister circle used to come on cable weekdays. Hey, Donna D. Cynthia did so much for Kenya for the Ultimate Girls Trip too. Exactly. She had all those posters of Brooklyn and talked about getting Kenya the best rooms and she's going through so much, etc. What a payback. Exactly. Because Cynthia has that personality type. She's codependent. She did so much for her, and how did Kenya repay her with a slap in the face, a big old slap in the face. Hey, Derby Diva. Yep, Curtis has become accustomed to a certain lifestyle, so yes, it's cheaper to keep the cheating bum. 100%. 100%. I hope Dr. Jackie has something on the side for herself. You know what I mean? Like, I want Dr. Jackie to, like, be happy. Hey, Vodka. Do you think Kenya really gives an F about Candy? She'd probably wonder why Candy's even on the show. No. Kenya is strategic. Her friendships are strategic. Her arguments are strategic. She's strategic about everything. I think she's the type of person who sees people as objects and how can she use you? If it's the betterment for Kenya to use you as a friend, she'll use you as a friend. If it's the betterment to Kenya to create you as a villain or as an enemy, she'll use you as that, and then she'll dispose of you either way. Look how she treats people. She did the same thing to Nene. She did the same thing to Portia, to Cynthia. She'll do it to Candy. You know? Hey, Young Rich. Portia came back to Kenya's party when Kenya kicked her out. Oof. Oof, oof. That's just sad. If somebody kicks you out, stay out. Okay. Hey, Young Rich. Production definitely stole Vivica's fall. Hey, Donna D. The only thing I appreciate about Kenya being on the gym activity on Raw was that she took that T-word sign down. Other than that, she should have been left out of the activity. They let Kenya win. Yep. Hey, Derby Diva. Hell, she apologized to Phaedra and she kept hitting on Apollo. Girl, bye. Exactly. That was hella disrespectful. I'm not a Phaedra fan. I think what Phaedra did was dirty. But if it's someone's husband and you were all up in their face and you're flirting and doing all that, he was wrong and so was she. They both were wrong. Vodka says, I remember Brandy saying that the one thing she can say about Kenya is very smart and strategic. Exactly. She's very smart and she's very strategic. And I don't think that Kenya actually gets hurt by a lot of things. I think she says, oh, I can use this to my advantage to play victim. I can use this to my advantage to justify things. I think that she just thinks about how she can use people and what she can use for her advantage. And she's always the victim. Hey, Young Rich, Cynthia and Kenya has friendship problems before Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, especially on season 12. Yeah, well, there's a thing between having friendship problems and what Kenya did. Because it still goes down to, even if you and your friend are having a bit of a falling out, but it didn't even seem like that because the way that they were kikiing before the show and the way Cynthia told it, they were still BFFs and they were supposed to go in it like Thelma and Louise, the two of them against the world. That doesn't mean that, to me, that doesn't translate into friendship problems. To me, that seems like they were going to go Thelma and Louise it up. And then Kenya was like, psych, see ya, and dropped her off at the corner. Daringhood, I felt bad for Cynthia because she's so sweet. Me too. I used to have that same codependent personality, like Cynthia. That same exact codependent personality. So when I say that, I'm not being mean to Cynthia. I identify with her. I know exactly what it is to be that type of person, that type of codependent person. 100%. So when I see it in her, I'm like, but not anymore. Oh, no. Not anymore. I'm definitely not like that anymore, thank God. But I used to be. So I see it. I see it. Doing the most for people, overextending yourself, all of that stuff, 100%. Vodka. Brandy was also on that celeb Big Brother. Ooh, yup. Hey Shady, Kenya played Cynthia for years, especially with the tug of war with Nene. 100%, because she knows how to play people. She knows how to play people. She knows what buttons to push. Hey, Donna D, Cynthia and Carson got along in Celebrity Big Brother, right? Her blow up was Todd Bridges. She and Todd are good now. No, what I meant by her and Carson was Cynthia does what Cynthia does. So, like when Cynthia was BFS with Nene, she would windmill for Nene. She'd go to bat for Nene. She'd defend Nene. Nene could do no wrong. What did you say about Nene? I'm gonna knock you out. She did the same thing with Peter. You know, Peter's that big personality. You know, all of that stuff. She did the same thing with Kenya. Going to bat for Kenya. Kenya's my friend. Kenya's my friend. You know, she kicked Nene to the curb for Kenya. Going to bat. What she did with the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. Oh, Kenya gets the best room, putting up the pictures of Brooklyn, all this stuff, doing the most, going to bat. She did the same thing for Carson on Celebrity Big Brother. She was windmilling for Carson to win. We have to get Carson to win. We have to get Carson to win. And then she went off on the Shayna Mokley girl. Remember? She had the Blake blow up. Shayna, did you vote against Carson? Were you talking about him? Did you blah, blah, blah? Remember? She was like windmilling for Carson, even to the point where Carson was like, can you like chill? Like what is the problem? Like, relax, girl. Remember? So that's Cynthia's personality. Her and Carson were, you know, she was BFF with Carson, and so she would windmill for him. But that's what codependent people do. When you are BFF with someone, you identify so much with trying to make them happy and choose you and be validated through them, that you windmill for them and you defend them and you go above and beyond. And she's done that in all of her friendships with Carson, Nene, Peter, anybody that she's BFS with, she windmills for them. Hey, Sadie, Kenya played Cynthia for years, especially talking about Needy. Yup. Hey, Young Rich, hold on now, Miss Candy. How you like Marlo but call sweet Dr. Heavenly mean? Marlo's mouth is gutter, and she just talked about Kenya's child, called her a test tube baby. Wait, what? What happened? Right. Let me address this, Young Rich. I do like Marlo. If she called Kenya's baby a test tube baby, that is wrong. I don't condone that. I can like a person, but not condone every single thing they say or do. I do like Marlo. I do. I like her. Is she perfect? Absolutely not. Is everything she says I'm going to agree with? No. If she said that, that's 1000% wrong, and I don't like it. Dr. Heavenly is mean. And to me, that's not debatable. To me, that is black and white. Dr. Heavenly is mean. She's a nasty, mean, hurtful, spiteful, deeply insecure woman. Deeply insecure. And if you don't believe me, watch the intervention. If you see nothing else that Dr. Heavenly has ever said or done, watch the episode of Intervention and everything she said about her so-called friends, her co-stars, her co-workers. That was mean. You up in Quad's face and you getting up there saying she sleeps with married men. That's mean. You're saying you're Contessa's best friend and you're getting up there calling her husband abusive and saying all this, that, and the third and talking about him being a cheater and everything else. That's mean. Saying Eugene said that Toya was the worst mistake of his life and saying Toya's dumb and stupid. That's mean. Talking about Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Anila, that's mean. All of it's mean. Everything she did to Mariah was mean as hell. Dr. Heavenly is mean. And that's not my opinion. That's a statement. She's mean. HAD, not a fan of Candace at all. Me either. Agree with what has been already said in the chat about Curtis. I find him very sneaky and slimy. Yeah, I think they're living together but separate lives. Yeah. Hey, Sadie, Kenya played Cynthia for years. Exactly. Hey, Derby Diva, Dr. Jackie and her friend's trainer seem to have serious chemistry. I hope he's keeping her JJ. Listen, I hope Dr. Jackie's getting it in. I want her to I was gonna say something, but I don't want to be insensitive. I'll say it, but I don't mean it in an insensitive way because I know there's been a lot of stuff going on with like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, with Crystal talking about her issues with eating, and then Erica being really insensitive and stuff. So what I was gonna say was like I want Dr. Jackie to have like a big juicy cheeseburger, and while like getting it in. Like I want Dr. Jackie to like indulge and like live her best life, but I'm not trying to be like mean or talking about like her body or eating or anything like that. I just want her to I just want Dr. Jackie to like let loose. Like enjoy your life for a second. You know what I mean? Like stop eating the broccoli and the steamed chicken. Like get a full big old meal and like let the trainer do his thing. You know, I want her just to like live. But by no means am I trying to body shame or allude to anything like that. Hey, Donna D, she was me too. I hope Dr. Jackie has a lover. Right? She's beautiful. Exactly. I hate to see her begin to pander to Curtis after he cheated, cooking for him, trying to spend more time with him, etc. Yeah, because that's the sad part. A lot of times when people get cheated on, they think it's their fault. They think that but it's not. Because the thing is, if your partner needed something from you, and they thought the best route was cheating, then just break up. There's never a reason to cheat. Hey, Donna D, I like to look at Cynthia as a very loyal friend rather than codependent and feels better in my psyche. I can see the problem. The reason why I say she's codependent is because Cynthia is a good friend, even to the detriment of her own self. Like and then the also tendencies being jealous of other people spending time with people, thinking it's us versus them, windmilling, going like to the extreme, trying to defend your friend, when the truth is everybody is an adult. People can speak for themselves, people can defend themselves, people can have other friendships, you know. So to me, her personality seems really codependent, also because I know her childhood story. You know, her mother unfortunately was in an abusive relationship, and so she got out of it, thank God. And so she was raising Cynthia and her sisters on her own, and Cynthia was saying how she really had to step up and sort of become like, you know, the parent, the parenticized child. And she was modeling and making money and really, you know, stepping up in that role. And a lot of times in childhood, when you have to become an adult quicker than you're supposed to, or if you have a single parent, you develop more of a codependent personality. So I say that because of her childhood, and I say that because of how she acts. So do I think she's loyal? 100%. Do I think she's codependent? Yeah. Okay, and the codependency, it's just conditioning. It's not a mental illness. It's not a mental disease. It's not any of that. It's just a disposition. It's just you've been conditioned to overgive based on your circumstances, and you can easily unlearn that. I've unlearned it. You know, I was conditioned to overgive, and now I give to my capacity, and I take care of myself first. I'm a loyal friend. I'm a trusting friend, but not to the detriment of myself, because I take care of me, and I allow other people to take care of themselves. Will I support you? Yes. Will I be there for you? Yes. Will I enable you? No. And I think that if Cynthia got a little bit more self-aware of her codependent stuff going on, then yes, she could get there too, because she's a great person. Codependency, literally, it's just conditioning. You're just conditioned to overgive, because that's where you get your value and your worth from, is what you do for other people. It's just conditioning. That's it. It's not a mental illness. It's not a mental disease or anything like that. It's just conditioning. Hey, Miss T, all the ladies don't like what Heavenly does, but they won't speak about it. I know. The reason why I think they won't speak about it, didn't Cynthia win? I don't know. I didn't watch the finale. I don't think Cynthia won. I don't know. Hey, Vaka, that makes so much sense about Cynthia and Kenya. 100%. I think the reason why the women don't speak to Dr. Heavenly is two things. One, I think Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are just, I think they look at her, how can I say this delicately? as like whatever. Like, I don't think they take Dr. Heavenly seriously. If you saw their reactions in the intervention, they were kind of just like, yeah, that's Dr. Heavenly, because they see through her. They see through her evil and her meanness and her stuff as just her being wounded herself. So they don't take Dr. Heavenly seriously. That's why they don't really care. They don't say anything about it, because it's almost like if you see a dog barking, that's not news. You're not going to be bothered seeing a dog bark, because that's what dogs do. The reason why I think Contessa was so in her feelings was because she thought Heavenly was her friend. So it's like, if your dog bites you, you feel some type of way. But if a random dog bites you, well, that's what dogs do. They bite. But if your dog bites you, then you're in your feelings. So I think a lot of the women don't say anything, because, particularly Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, because they don't take Heavenly seriously. I mean, how can you? She's mean. Miss T, Cynthia wrote a friendship contract, so exactly. Hey, Young Rich and Miss T, no, she got a third. A third what? Hey, Vaca, hellishly sweet. No, she's not. She's evil. So evil. Hey, Vaca, she goes, I would never go to a doctor on marriage to medicine. Me either. Even though I do think Simone and Jackie are probably good doctors, I'm still not going. Hey, Young Rich, Marlo is worse than Candace and Dr. Heavenly. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe with some of the stuff she says, she's right up there with them. But I think on a core level, I like Marlo more on like a core level. If that makes sense. Hey, Donna D. Marlo says a lot of gutter down low stuff. Ooh. Man, you guys are making me rethink Marlo. Hey, Young Rich, she goes, Dr. Heavenly was saying things they already said about themselves and each other. Contessa sat up on Dr. Heavenly Live and said the same thing. This is the thing. It's one thing to say they've said stuff about themselves, but not with the tone and intent and venom that Dr. Heavenly has. Getting clicks, views, laughs, and jabs at their expense. It's one thing for two people to get up here and one person talk about their stuff. It's another thing for you to get up here and talk about my stuff as my friend. Like, if I come to you, even if we're just here kicking it and I'm like, oh, this happened with this person, that person in my life, that's one thing. It's like, I can talk about it, but you can't. Dr. Heavenly, no, there's no defending her. There's no excuse. Hey, Shady, devilishly. Her people, exactly. She's not a good friend at all. She's a very jealous person with friends like her who needs enemies. 100%. Exactly, Miss T. Cynthia's loyal to a fault. Yep, she's loyal to the detriment of herself. And that is the essence of being codependent. And it's just conditioning. You can relearn, you can reprogram yourself. It's just conditioning. It's not an illness, it's not a disease, it's just conditioning. Hey, Young Rich, they all have been mean and hateful towards each other, especially Mariah, and that's why they kicked her out the group. But Dr. Heavenly just does it to their face instead of behind their backs. No, she just does it on her YouTube channel. Toya Bush Harris almost bust Dr. Simone upside her head in front of her son. They ain't do no worse than what Dr. Heavenly has done. Hey, Darren Hood, Cynthia was eliminated by Broke Rick. Yeah. Hey, Donna D. Cynthia was in the final 3 of Celebrity Big Brother, which she and everyone else was shocked that she made it that far. That's hilarious. Hey, Darren. She goes, Cynthia made it to the final 3, but Brookwich played a dirty game. So did Carson ended up being the winner? Thaka, you know what makes me uncomfortable with Candace is that she was with that man. She gets very childlike around him, and she seems to try to keep herself childlike and pout except when he talks to her. Daddy issues. Miss T, Heavenly didn't tell the World Wide Web. She gave inside commentary. Baka says just very strange. Yeah. So true. So true. Woo! you guys, this has been so much fun. We've been on here for an hour and almost 20 minutes. If you're having a good kiki, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And I love you, my beautiful candy canes. So this is so much fun. This week we'll be doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm going to catch up on Love and Marriage Huntsville so I can get caught up on that. And what else? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode of Love and Marriage, or Married to Medicine. And then we'll do season reunion part 2 of DC because I guess we just will. Hey, Young Rich. No, MMA girl ended up winning the show. She did? Oh, I couldn't stand her. I couldn't stand her. Baka says, yes, what times are you coming on? I'm going to try and come on 2 p.m. West Coast time. And is that 5 o'clock East Coast time? I'm going to try and do 2 o'clock Monday through Friday. That's what I'm going to try and do. But give me grace because I'm back and I'm doing the best I can. So give me grace. So I'm going to try and do every day at 2 o'clock, either pop culture news or reality TV recap. Bell Collective! Yes! Is Bell Collective back? I like Bell Collective. I do. We can do Bell Collective, yes. Someone had wanted me to do Married at First Sight. Is that what you guys want? Married at First Sight? I've never watched Married at First Sight, but I know I did get that request. So if people want me to do it, I'll try and get into it. But I do like Bell Collective. I do. Comes back Friday? Okay, I'll put that on the list. And Baka says, awesome. Yeah! Yes, you guys, give me grace. I'm going to try and do every day 2 o'clock West Coast, 5 o'clock East Coast, either pop culture or reality. But don't forget, I still do self-care and self-love and relationship and self-improvement. I do all that content too. So definitely check out those videos. If you don't want to be codependent like Cynthia or how I used to be, these videos will help you get confidence and self-esteem, know your worth, wear your own damn crown. Instead of trying to put crowns on everybody else, wear your own crown. Baka says, nah, don't watch First Sight, LOL. Hey, Shady. She goes, it's the way that devilish laughs at them. Exactly in the catty way. It was evil. When the other ladies have issues with one another, they are not laughing in that way. They get angry, push through the problem. You know, you're 100% right, because that's what I'm saying. This is what makes Heavenly different than the rest. Has everybody been mean? Sure. Has everybody had kikis and said stuff? Sure. Have they put their own stuff on blast? Sure. The difference is that Heavenly, and I said this earlier, but I'll say it again, Heavenly gets pleasure from it. She gets pleasure from thinking that people are doing worse than she is. She gets pleasure putting other people's pain, embarrassment, trauma, betrayal on blast. She gets pleasure out of it. It would never occur to me ever in my mind to ever say someone is beneath me for any reason, because no one is beneath me and no one is above me. We're all equal. We're all equal. But Heavenly thinks, oh, allegedly, because we all know the streets have been talking about Dr. Damon Daddy, but allegedly, she wants to push this narrative that she has this perfect marriage. So in order for her to feel good about herself, and in order for her to pretend she has a perfect marriage, she has to hurt and put everybody else down who's struggling in their marriage. In order for Heavenly to think good about herself and to have any value and any worth, she has to put other people down who may not have the same degrees or education that she does, but who gives a damn? Just because you have a degree doesn't make you better than anybody. Just because you don't doesn't make you less. That's why she puts down Anila and Toya. And that's what makes it different with Dr. Heavenly. It's the pleasure she gets in being hurtful. That's the difference. Sure, people talk. Sure, people kiki. We've all said mean stuff. But there's a difference with it. And that's why I don't mess with Dr. Heavenly on any type of level. Baka says, Housewives, yay! Yes. She says, yes, thank you. You're welcome. Shady says, do you review Matthias Family Matters, Candy? I've never even heard of Matthias Family Matters. I'll look it up. I'll try it. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Young Rich, do you watch Rich and Famous or Secrets of Playboy? Young Rich, what are you trying to get me into? What are you trying to get me into? I'll check it out. Bye, Derby Diva. Yes. Young Rich says, who've been talking about Dr. Damon? They better stop. They better stop. That's a loyal man. Young Rich, are you on Heavenly's payroll? Don't make me start thinking of things because you're going too hard for Dr. Heavenly when we all know the streets have been talking about Dr. Damon and we all know she's mean as hell. Young Rich, what are you doing? Okay, you guys, I'm getting out of here. But I do want to say thank you. This has been so much fun. If you had a fun Kiki, if you like being a candy cane, join the membership. Become a member. Get some behind the scenes content. Subscribe, like, share, comment below. Do all of the things. Oh, he says, she says, oh, I would like a deep dive into that Girls Gone Wild scandal. There is a lot going on there. I'll watch the documentary and we can do like a fun chit chat about it. Okay, guys, I'm really getting out of here now, but I love you. Bye, Sadie. Bye, sweetheart. Mwah. But I love you guys, and in all seriousness, everybody stay safe. Take care of yourself. Don't take any BS too seriously. Enjoy your life. Laugh. Have a good kiki. Watch your back always, but be open and ready to receive love and happiness and everything, and just enjoy your life. I love you guys so much. This is so much fun. I will see you tomorrow. Subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out. And 2 o'clock, you guys, 2 o'clock West Coast, 5 o'clock East Coast. I love you so much. Take care of yourself and each other. Okay? Bye.